I have Brian Monkeyboy Amoroso from the Dude here. The Dude, Distinguished Order of Disobedience, is set to release their fifth studio album called Firefly in August of this year. And Brian, I'm looking forward to talking to you about this thing.
Oh, me too. Me too. I'm very excited for this whole album. So
yeah, very cool, man. Most people I talk to, I'll mention that I'm talking to somebody and they'll say, what do they sound like? With you guys, that's going to be a question. But the first question, I think, is where's the name come from, man? The Dude.
The Dude. The Distinguished Order of Disobedience, believe it or not, was I had nothing to do with the moniker there, but that was an actual medal that was given out in, I believe it was a Scandinavian country for people who won a battle by disobeying a direct order.
Nice.
So if you won the battle, you won the day, but you had to disobey a direct order to get it. You got the Distinguished Order of Disobedience medal.
Wow.
And they found that. They loved it. And I said, that sounds great. They're like, yeah, they call us the Dude. I'm like, oh, God. That's awful. But by then, they had already been a band for quite a few years, and they had a bit of a following by then. So it was too late.
Yeah, my first reaction was like, okay, and I immediately thought of the movie with the
the Big Lebowski.
Yeah, sure. The Big Lebowski, right? That's exactly what I thought of. And then I got Distinguished Order of Disobedience, and I thought there's something deeper here.
Yeah, thankfully there is. I mean, honestly, the reason why we don't go by the Distinguished Order of Disobedience as often is because it's a spelling test. If you try to tell people, oh yeah, go on the internet, find the Distinguished Order of Disobedience, they quit after the dis somewhere around there.
Right. Yeah, it's a mouthful, that's for sure. Now you're in Florida, yeah?
Yeah, I'm in Sarasota, Florida. Okay. A little bit south of Tampa.
Yep, beautiful place. Had a family member living there. It's a beautiful place.
Right on.
How do you describe the Dude music?
That is the question.
Yeah,
really. It's mainly it's we're a heavy metal band. That's all I ever say. I don't try to I can't church it up any more than that, because we're basically a group of 6 people who have so many different influences, and we wear our influences on our sleeves a lot. Plus, we have our own ideas. Obviously, we're not just doing other people's stuff. We have our own ideas, and we by the end of it all, it's a cocktail of music, of heavy metal music, metal, to make whatever the hell it is we are.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And that's what it was hard to think about, what you guys sound like as, to other bands. It's a big mix of a lot of metals, it's a metal band, man. You guys are hardcore. I love listening to it. It's, really aggressive stuff, and, really cool. Do you have influences for you and the rest of the band? Are you guys all pretty much come from the same place?
It's funny because we have me, myself, I'm anywhere from, I started out the first song and my heaviest influence ever was Break On Through from the Doors.
Yeah.
I can remember being just a small child running around, not knowing the words, but making them up as I was going along, and, just running around like a maniac. It was the first time rock and roll got me. And then I went out and bought a Megadeth album. Nice. So, nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm more from, I would say I love, the traditional metal starts, the roots, the New York hardcore stuff, and even the West Coast sound from back in the 80s. And then, I I got into the new metal thing pretty well. I thought that a lot of it was good, while a lot of it wasn't, but the good stuff really shined through. I think it was the next evolution you had to go to, you know?
Totally.
And so, I mean, for me, that's kind of where I was at. And I know like Ray was always big into like King Diamond.
Okay.
And Merciful Fate and Ozzy and all that, which all of us kind of have very similar, like, yeah, we were all into it, but, nobody was into it like Ray.
Yeah. Right.
So, it's stuff like that, that we all kind of share in common, but if you asked anybody, they would all have their heavier influences than, say they'd have different heavier influences than myself. I'd have my own brand.
Yeah.
Because I tended to go for, and then there was a long period of time when I spent trying to figure out where the hook was in music. Even when I wasn't a musician, I was like, why do I like this?
Right.
And so, I try to use that when we're writing. I try to use that a lot, is whatever I have found out about why I like it.
Yeah. And that is always the question, I would imagine. And I'm a photographer, so I a lot of things I take a picture of. It's why do I like this? And that kind of helps you produce more of stuff that's good. So your writing process, let's talk about that a little bit. Who writes in the band, and how do you guys get together and make songs?
Every one of us writes in the band.
Nice.
I would say we don't always do it together. Sometimes, like, I know for me, the simplest thing is I'll get an idea in my head, so I'll go and I'll sit down in front of a recording program, and I'll play all the instruments and put together what I'm hearing in my head, and then I'll hand them a CD or a flash drive and say, "Here, I wrote this. This is something that." It's good bones,
Right.
and then I hand it to them and I say, change up whatever you want to change up, and put your own spin on it, basically. So that's part of it. But then there's also times when we'll sit in a room together and Ray will come up with something, and Indy or Indy will come up with something, and we'll just start jamming on it and try to, build a song out of that way too. So it really comes a little bit, a little bit different here and there. So sometimes sometimes we'll start with, I've got some lyrics. Sometimes we'll start with, hey, we've got some music, and it doesn't, honestly, I think in order to get a good amount of songs that don't all sound exactly alike, but you kind of have to have them coming from separate spots.
Yep.
Separate ways of writing them. No matter what we write, we always sound like us.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's cool that you have, different writers in the band, because you get that, you'll get a few different inputs, which is really nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And everybody's very creative, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that, just your presentation. There's a lot of theatrics and things like that, and some makeup, and you guys are really into the show. It's a show. Just to look at you guys is a show. That's a big part of what you guys do, isn't it?
It is a huge part of it. I remember, everybody just started just showing up in their day clothes and playing shows. And they weren't scaring people anymore. Like the big part about music was trying to, at one point in time, parents were terrified of Elvis,
Right.
and they didn't want their daughters dating Elvis. Well, nobody wanted their daughter dating Marilyn Manson, but everybody wouldn't really mind if everybody dated Weezer. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that the show kind of got lost for a little while, and I just feel like to put on a good concert experience where people are like, holy crap, what just happened? Did she just really give birth to and drop kick the baby Jesus? Whatever it might be. So yeah, no, I mean, I just think that the show in itself is the most important. It's your biggest selling point, no matter what you're doing. Because if you can't win people over while you're playing a show, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can remember as a kid seeing, Kiss. That was, it was a show.
Yeah.
The music was there, we loved it, but you went to see them, and it was a show, a visual show as well as an audio show. You guys seem to bring that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The trick is really to balance it out. You have to make sure you have to have good music. If you don't have good music,
Yep.
then it doesn't matter what kind of show you got.
Yep, absolutely. Now you're working with Matt Laplant on
Yes.
this new record, I hear. Matt, of course, with Skindred, Soil, and Nonpoint, and just a bunch of really heavy, great stuff. What does Matt bring to the band that wasn't necessarily there before?
He gives an outside perspective that, I mean, obviously he comes from a place of knowing, he knows what he's doing, but he brings an outside perspective of looking at the music that we already have and saying, well, you know what, that sounds great, but maybe try this. And, and when it's all said and done, that perspective is really, put an extra little spin on it that's turned out so far to be really, really, really good. I'm very happy with it.
Excellent. Is it in the can? Do you got it? Is it all ready to go?
No, it's not. It's we have another 2 weeks of recording or so, starting next week, and then basically it's going to wind up being. We have all the songs written. It's just a matter of we actually have way more songs written than we need for the album. So that's
always good.
It worked out really good. We have another album's worth of material that we may just turn around and start recording, shortly after. Who knows?
That's awesome, man. That's always good to have extra, man. No doubt.
Oh yeah.
What was the most difficult part of making this record?
Honestly, there was two really difficult parts. The first part is always finances. And it was worse this time around because of COVID.
Yeah.
And not being able to play shows for a year for the most part, not having the income that we would have from playing those shows, not having income from personal places too. I mean, a lot of us were
sure.
You work a day job, you're out of work, you're not saving.
Yep.
So financially, it was a little bit difficult, and I think the most difficult thing was sitting down with 16 songs and trying to trim it down to an 8-song album.
Yeah. That's a good problem though, right?
It is. It really is. But at the same time, it's like you have your heart set on one thing and you're with 6 people and they're like, yeah, well, I like that, but this is a little bit better. And you got to kind of really take a step back from your own feelings and just listen to it and say,
right,
well, they might be right,
Right.
And that can be a little difficult sometimes, but at the same time, it's, it's definitely I love every aspect of doing all of this.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Kill the Light, great video, great song. Do you have any other plans for doing a video? Now I know videos can be expensive. Is there a plan for another video, and do you like doing them?
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to. As a matter of fact, every video we've done up till now, up until Kill the Light, I basically did 90% of the work on the video.
Wow.
So that's how we saved money and we're able to put out a bunch of videos.
Yeah.
So, but we went with Kill Devil Films on this, and I really enjoyed working with Thomas Crane over there, and he's been doing some stuff. He did some stuff just recently with Todd Latour from Queensryche on some solo stuff that he was doing. And I think next, we haven't decided on what the next one will be, but we will have probably another video, probably coinciding with the release of the album.
Way cool.
So it's just, I've got ideas for videos and what to do. It's a matter of time, money, and basically that's the way that goes. And possibly, sometimes you get these ideas and it's great. And although you have so many, CGI possibilities these days, some things just aren't possible to do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I got this great idea, but I don't know how to film a video up an elephant's ass or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right. Right.
There's sometimes just not possible.
Right. Yeah. And you obviously like doing them. You guys are, like I say, theatric band. You love that visual. I hear a lot from bands that, the videos are a grind. It's an all day thing, but you guys like doing it, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And well, we always make sure they're fun.
Yeah.
This one wasn't. This one was a more serious tone to it, but at the same time, it's you. The six of us are truly, we get along well.
That's awesome.
And we're the people that always have a good time when we get together one way or another. And I can't speak for the rest of them, but I personally enjoy watching their creative process in action.
Yeah.
So for me, I can do that all day. I can sit there and watch the wheels turn. You know,
that's great, man. That's great. Now I've read that you guys are helping the homeless on the west coast of Florida. Participate in benefits to help school music programs, which I'm a big advocate of. Humane Society stuff. You guys are just good people and want to help the community. Talk to me a little bit about that. How you guys get involved in stuff like that, and if it's the personal, is there a personal attachment to it?
Sure, there is. Absolutely, there is. I mean, as Pinky Dude, she's our show performer, does some percussions and keyboards and stuff. She actually started this thing called the Random Acts of Kindness program here in Sarasota, Southwest Florida, and she was funding these food drives with metal shows. So she was getting all these metal bands to play and people to come and benefit. And we hopped on that from day one. And what happens is, when we get a chance to do it, it's been fewer and farther between this past year, which is a little sad. But we get a chance to do that. We'll go ahead and we'll play the shows. We'll organize it, even if it's, even if it winds up being a couple $1,000s worth of food. We'll load up the RV and we'll cook dinners and open up one side of the RV for one window, start serving food out the window to the local homeless. And if you walk to the back, we have blankets, we have clothes, we will give out to people. And we try to do that as often as possible. It's, like I said, we're busy people, but at the same time, and the thing of it is, all of us have, if we haven't been there, we've been close,
right. Right.
We've been close enough to make it scary.
Yeah.
And, thankfully we've overcome it, but it could be anybody. Most people are, a paycheck or two away from it.
Yep. I had one minute you're there and 1 minute you're gone. It's as simple as that. Next day I might be on the street. Any of us might be. It's a beautiful thing what you guys are doing. I really, really respect that, man. That's just so great that you do that.
Well, and Ray will always tell you it's nice to do a selfless act, but at the same time, for him, it's also inspiration to see how these people are every day struggling on the streets and can keep their chins up. They can keep going on.
Yeah, it's something. And you recognize it, and
so it's a thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Are you going to tour on this record? I know that's difficult at this point. Everything's starting to open up a little.
Sorry about that. Are you there?
Yep.
Here. Let's see what we can do. Oh, there we go.
Gotcha.
I think we're back.
Yep.
That was weird.
Yeah. Are you looking to tour on this record? I know that's difficult, but things are opening up a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely are. It's just going to be a matter of figuring out how, when, and how best to do it. Things are opening up, but they're not open everywhere.
Right.
And the places we have to kind of have to think it and do it a little bit more strategically than normal. Normally, you just find the places in the area you want to go to, or you're trying to hit, and we try to find where our fans are the most and hit them with a priority.
Yeah.
But yeah, we probably will either we'll do our own tour, or we will see if we can get on somebody else's tour and support.
Mhm.
But we definitely will be doing something. It'll probably not be as soon as the album comes out. It'll probably be either later in the year or maybe early next year when we actually get to doing a full-on tour.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we'll always be playing.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. Is there any particular artist that you'd like to collaborate with, or be a part of a tour?
Ooh, that's a great question. Honestly, there's so many of them. I would have a hard time picking one.
Yeah.
And we've had the opportunity to, do some shows with Mushroom Head, and I know we got some neat shows coming up where we're playing with Smile Empty Soul and and Co-op, which is Alice Cooper's son.
Oh, okay.
We've got a couple shows with them coming up. We just did something with Mark Rizzo for Soulfly,
Nice.
which was a lot of fun. I honestly, I couldn't give you I mean, if I had my choice, I'd love Mudvayne.
Yeah.
I hear they're getting back together, but I don't know if that's going to be a situation, and I don't know how much
Yeah.
how much traction that get, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd love to see it, man, and I'd love to see you down here in Chicago, man. I'm down by Chicago. I hope you can make it. I hope you can make it down here. We'll hang and
it's usually on our list.
Awesome, man. Yeah,
as long as they're open for business, we'll try to get there.
it looks like it. It looks like everything's opening around here, and it's pretty great to see. And live music is happening down here. So yeah. I hope you can make your way down here. That'd be great.
Oh, absolutely. We'll definitely make sure that's one of the spots we hit.
Very cool, man. Brian, thanks so much, man. Looking forward to it. Distinguished Order of Disobedience album coming out, Firefly, somewhere around August, right?
Somewhere around August, and you can check out the new single or the video just by going to the D.O.O.D, D-O-O-D, thedudeband.com. And
Awesome.
You've got links to them right there. So
fantastic. Brian, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you.
All right.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.